The club approached us about doing something special for the thrice champions 100-year anniversary. There is footage available, but it's quite grainy and it's been used before, so we wanted to do something special. We'd just come off the back of doing a job for Mines, a very similar kind of historical thing from 1905, so a bit earlier. So we had some good examples to kind of show what we can do. We wanted to make it special and we didn't want to rush it, and I think we achieved that.
So I got a call off Pete and said, he didn't tell me too much, just said that there was a Huddersfield job that had come in, so set up a meeting, and then that was when we came and met you guys. We get the brief and then we try and pick bits out of that brief that we can start making into a script, and that's the first thing to do. If we can get some words down, it doesn't have to be a final script, but just something that we can kind of start putting image to. So we'll make like a storyboard type thing with some text, with some research pictures, and then we'll come back to you guys, and then we start writing a proper script up.
One thing that I watched that I hadn't seen for a long time during the research phase was the Final Whistle video, which I don't think I've seen that since it came out in 94 or 93 or something like that. So to look back on that, like when I watched it back in the day, I wasn't looking at it with that kind of research eye. I was just enjoying the football, whereas now I'm specifically looking for photos of Cecil Potter because he's actually really hard to find photos of or footage of. Clem Stevenson's a lot easier because he was a player, then he was a manager, but just kind of seeing how everything tied together and piecing it all together and figuring out who the key guys were back then and how, to be honest, how big of a deal it actually was. Like, I don't think I appreciated how big a deal it was before I did the project. Me
and Pete have worked together for quite a while and things like this now, so we have the process pretty tight in terms of how he's going to deliver it to me, how I'm going to animate like bits that he's drawn, and he does them, you know, he'll split bits of body parts up, he'll say we could do this, and he'll have ideas what we can animate before it even gets to me, so that's always nice. And then we'll just start working our way through the storyboard and just putting notes on what we can animate, how it can work, and then how it can move into the next section.
Anything we do, we want it to be as accurate as possible, even if it's little things like the chalkboard, the formation on the chalkboard, things like that, like guys doing leapfrogs over each other, skipping. We saw footage of all this happening, and to be honest, sometimes it's hard to think of stuff, hard to think of fresh ideas. So when you do see footage of guys leapfrogging, like it sparks something in your head and you're like, right, that's definitely something we can feature, even if it's just in the background. Like, you'll find that all the newspaper articles that were featured in like the little clippings and things went through the British newspaper archive and kind of pulled little bits and recreated them as if they were torn out of the newspapers. When we do find something, we want to make it as accurate as we possibly can.
There's very little surprise along the process, to be honest, because we start with such strong illustration, which are basically how that's going to look. There was a bit of difference in this because Pete did the illustrations as artworks, and then he provided all the kind of newspaper clippings, all the extras that you see down the seats, and I kind of built that into this kind of scrapbook style. So he probably got surprised when he saw my bits, and I got surprised when I saw his bits initially.
Jim Chisholm was, I'd say, probably like consulting on it because he's a real specific historian and he knows his stuff. So Jim was a big help in the initial meetings and with the script and everything else, making sure everything was accurate. We got Danny Corraine in, who's another Mad Town fan as well, and he's just got like the voiceover skills and the style of voice that really suits the era. I think it's quite baritone.
But on it, we thrived. Promotion, the Charity Shield, FA Cup glory. The stage was set for something special.
It's a really good fit for the animation. So Danny did a great job. And it is just a complete professional. It was just seamless with Danny.
We were initially going to use a kind of stock music track off which we were going to select, and I tend to wait until the animation's kind of, in this sense, I tend to wait till the animation's done, and then you can kind of have a few selects and put something together and see which kind of works best. But on the morning of the pick, I was sent by the club, sent me the official anthem that they just had composed, which was a nice surprise, because the minute we dropped it on, I mean, it needed some work to kind of, by a sound engineer that we had, but to a sound designer, sorry, to kind of line it up and dip it in and out, but it just fit perfectly.
Being lifelong Huddersfield Town fans, it was a lot easier because we knew about the history already, we knew what we wanted to feature. It just made the process a lot easier.
Getting to look at some of the old archive stuff that people might not be able to look at as easily, and kind of start thinking about the work about the team that you're interested is very good. It's almost like you're not working. A local project, we had obviously Danny, who did the voiceover, he's from Huddersfield. We had the sound designer, who actually wasn't from Huddersfield, he was London based, but when we started talking about the project, it turns out that he got married. He's just married a girl from Home Firth, so he'd been up in this area, he'd been around here a couple of weeks before, so he knew about the club, he knew what he was doing in that regard, and yeah, that was a nice little other angle.
So literally made in Huddersfield in every sense of
Pretty much made in Huddersfield, yeah.
Huddersfield was a latecomer to professional football, but as with all things, we soon made our mark. From the beginning, we faced our fair share of adversity off the pitch, financial crises, boardroom battles, even war. But on it, we thrived. Promotion, the Charity Shield, FA Cup glory. The stage was set for something special. Across 3 incredible seasons, 32 men rose to the occasion. First guided by the genius of Herbert Chapman, then by the steady hand of Cecil Potter. There was drama worthy of the silver screen. Records set, records broken. Then, on the 12th of April 1926, came the greatest triumph of them all. Huddersfield Town, champions of England for the 3rd time in a row. A feat never before seen. 100 years on, we remain deeply proud of this remarkable achievement and of the thrice champions who made it possible. This season, to honour their enduring legacy, our players will wear 3 stars on their shirts. A simple yet powerful reminder of our unique place in history. A nod to a time when we stood at the summit of the English game and, for a brief moment, were known as the best club side in the world.